In the Philippines, the strongest typhoon so far this year has brought violent winds and torrential rains. 2 rescue workers were killed by a landslide, a third person drowned, and further casualties were reported in a coastal town. Typhoon Mangkhut hit the country's main island, Luzon, earlier this morning, blowing down trees, ripping off roofs and knocking out electricity supplies across the north. Lauren Moss reports.
Roofs ripped off, electricity supplies knocked out, and people wading their belongings through floodwaters. More than 4 million people were in the path of Typhoon Mangkhut as it hit the northern part of the Philippines early this morning.
When the wave hit the road, it also hit the embankment, and the houses were shaking.
2 rescue workers were killed in one of the many landslides, and a third person drowned as 6-metre-high storm surges and 115-mile-an-hour winds battered the region. Meteorologists say the storm is the strongest tropical cyclone the world has faced so far this year. The diameter of the cloud measuring about 900 kilometres. Thousands of people are staying in shelters, flights have been cancelled and shops and schools are boarded up. The typhoon is now heading towards Vietnam and southern China. It's expected to pass near Hong Kong tomorrow. The magnitude of the devastation left behind in the Philippines still isn't known, and more heavy rain is on the way. Already people living here are having to pick up the pieces of their lives which have been destroyed. Lauren Moss, BBC News.
Well, on the other side of the world, Typhoon Mangkhut is causing devastation across the Philippines. 4 million people there are directly in its path, with winds gusting at more than 100 miles an hour, and thousands of people have been evacuated from their homes. And as Ronki Phillips reports, the massive storm is now heading for China.
With ferocious strength winds, which reached up to 115 miles per hour, Typhoon Mangkhut slammed into the northeastern coast of the Philippines. The powerful storm ripped off tin roofs and sent power lines crashing down into the street. Flooding is now a major concern, with more heavy rainfall forecast and surges threatening to push water further inland. Some areas are already completely flooded, and forecasters say the destruction will probably continue, with wind speeds equivalent to a Category 4 hurricane. This was expected to be a deadly storm, and that prediction has come true. In the first confirmed deaths, 2 rescuers were killed trying to help people trapped in a landslide. And while thousands have already evacuated, others in villages and more remote areas have decided to stay put. Coastal areas took the brunt of the storm, and work is now underway to clear roads and bridges which have been blocked by trees uprooted in the landslides. The super typhoon is losing some of its wind speed, but with more than 4 million people in its path, it's still expected to cause major destruction as it moves east towards China. Ronki Phillips, ITV News.